Hi everyone, this is Jacopo, CEO of Dynamite Studios, and here we are back with the second video development update before the launch of the fall alpha, which by the way is coming in the first week of November, specifically Wednesday, November 4th. So stay tuned, it's really close, less than 3 weeks. Now, in this update, we are going to cover resource nodes, mining, and blacksmithing, three of the most crucial new features coming in the test. Now, as you can see, the world map features a new button that allows you to center it on your character, so let's do it. And let's check out all the new pins that have appeared on the world map, each one representing a resource node. As you can see, there are two big categories of nodes. One is fertile grounds and the other one are mines. Now we're going to cover the former in the next update together with a whole farming system, which I'm really excited to talk to you about. But for today, let's stick with mines. As you can see, each resource node is connected to one city. This is not always going to be as such. In the future, there are going to be multiple resource nodes for each city, and cities will be able to compete for the control of these nodes by launching conquests and raids against nodes. But for now, that's fixed, so each city has its own node. Cities in the mountains have mines, and cities in grasslands or anyway plain areas have fertile grounds. Speaking of the minerals contained in a mine, when you see something like iron mine, again, that doesn't mean there is only iron in it. For example, iron mines usually feature small quantities of tin and silver as well. Again, it's small quantities, so mostly it's stone and iron, but not strictly only iron. Same goes for all the other deposits, and some have really unique configurations like this. I think it's here, it's a silver and gold mine, right? This is about 50% stone, 25% silver and 25% gold. It's pretty unique. Okay, so again, there's a lot of variety, and if you go on fractionammo.com/world-map, you can read more about each type of resource nodes and the specific types of resources contained in it. And here we are back to the game world. Let's collect some resources. Now, as I told you before, we are inside of a copper node that is connected to our city. One thing you should know is that the fall alpha is going to feature more granular permissions that governor can set for citizens of their cities, which means that by default, citizens cannot harvest resources in the node. They have to be granted a permission to do that. But of course, I'm governor, so I can do it. The way it's done is, just the usual way. It's always been done. Get yourself a hammer, click on the resource, and you're going to harvest it. As you can see, this is a copper mine, but there's a lot of stone. And this one specifically was a stone deposit. We have changed the way they look. And this one is some copper I've already collected. As you can see, different mineral deposits have a slightly different color. So this is copper, this is just regular copper. Let's see if we can find something that's a little different. Now on the map, you can only see an icon, but the actual area of the resource deposit is actually pretty huge. As you can see, these have a slightly different color, and I think this is copper and gold. Let's see. Even if it's a copper and gold deposit, it's very likely to just give us copper and not gold. But there's always the chance. So let's harvest a few more of them and check out what we find. Oh, this looks definitely different. Okay, well, this is not gold. This is actually tin. We're going to add a mouse over pop-up to allow you to understand what you have harvested before the start of the test. It's a bit hard just understanding that from the color, but I can tell you this is tin. Of course, harvesting the mineral deposits is just the first step. The next step is to move the resources from the resource node to your city. If you haven't checked my previous video on horses and wagons, I really recommend you do so. Now let's place the new wagon inside the territory. So here we are. And again, I'm going to use my admin powers to complete it. I already have a horse. And you just put resources inside the way it's always been done with hand carts. It's just that the inventory of this cart is way larger, and it also moves faster. Let's just drop all the stones. And let's pick it up. Here we are back to the city, moving on a paved road that makes us faster. Before we start building our blacksmith shop, please be aware that farming resources from resource nodes is actually meant to be a group effort, not a solo effort, all right? Cities in general are a group effort. So it takes, I think, 1.5 hours to harvest a whole mine and move all the resources from the mine to the city with a single cart. So that's pretty intensive, right? And you're really not meant to do it alone or just delegate this effort to a single poor dedicated crafter, just do it as a group, really. Also because you're really going to need being a group for smelting and processing these resources. So let's check that out. We have reordered all the buildings in the city into new categories, which are way more convenient. So now let's place the blacksmith shop. And I can't do it if I'm on a horse. All right. So this one goes here. Again, I'm going to use an admin power to complete it. Here we are inside of the newly built blacksmith shop. As you can see, it features 3 storages, one for ingots. This one I think is for ores, and this one here is for coal. Now, let's populate this shop, all right? First of all, we need a forge. Here it is. Building this requires a huge amount of resources, more than the ones you actually see in this video. So again, a group effort. We're going to complete it with our admin powers, and here we go with the forge. Outside of the building, we can place smelteries. There are 2 types of smelteries, as there are 2 types of forge, the basic one and the advanced one. Now, let me place here the advanced one, maybe. And let's complete it. Let's place the regular smeltery and the advanced one too, here. All right, here we are. Now let's check out the smeltery first. As you can see, there are 4 slots here where you can place fuel. Fuel being coal and charcoal, and in the future also alchemical coal, once we get the alchemy system implemented. And here is the place where you put ores. What's the difference between the basic one and the advanced one? Well, the advanced one requires 2 ores and produces 2 ingots, while this one gets only 1 and produces 1. What this also means is that you can only create alloys in the advanced smeltery. So if you put copper and tin, you create bronze, for example. That's the most classic alloy that I can think of, but there are many others, including several fantasy ones that you can find in the world of Fracture. Let's put the fuel first. And what if you don't have coal? Well, if you don't have it, then you can actually create a charcoal pile by using wood logs. And again, it requires more wood than you actually see in this video. And it also requires a few hours to be completed. But for now, we're just going to make it happen very fast in 30 seconds. We speeded it up. Let's fire this one too. Now, once it's completed, as you can see, it has many stages. We're going to add a few particles later on to make it a little prettier. But here it is. This is a burnt charcoal pile. And inside you can see that all the wood logs that you've put in it have actually turned into charcoal. You can then transfer these inside of your cart, move them inside of the smelteries, and then you can start the smelting process. Now, you may be wondering, why do I need to buy coal or to own a coal mine when actually I can make charcoal anywhere? Well, the reason is the following. The power of charcoal as fuel is actually way lower than regular coal. So as you can see, I've put 4 units, which is the maximum you can put in a smeltery, and I've reached 1200 degrees Celsius. But in order to smelt iron, I need about 2000 degrees Celsius, and I cannot start the smelting progress. So it tells me I need to add fuel, but I'm done with fuel. So how to do that? You need coal. If I had coal in it, we would reach 2000 degrees Celsius or maybe even more, and then we would be able to start the smelting process. Now in here, I've already put some copper and some iron. Again, you need 5 for each slot. And I've already started the smelting process. I can also cancel it, but if I do so, I'm going to lose all the resources. So both the fuel and the ores. Now, as you can see, copper and iron together, they make blood iron. Blood iron requires this temperature, that's 1200. And the temperature that we reached with coal is, again, way higher. So we're good. We were able to start the process. As you can see, smelteries take quite some place. You can actually put up to 6 outside of a blacksmith building, and you can't put them inside. So the way I suggest you to set up your blacksmith shop is by having the forge inside, whether it's a simple one or the advanced one, and have your smelteries outside. If you and your group play 24/7, given that it takes 4 hours for a smeltery to create the ingots, you are going to need a second blacksmith shop with more smelteries to process everything. If you're not hardcore, one is likely to suffice. One thing you should really understand is that metal weapons and metal armor are valuable. It's not like in many other games that you might have played where you just craft 1000 plate armors each day for your guild. That's not the way it works. You can maybe craft 4 of them in one day if you're really hardcore, because they require several ingots. And again, this basic smeltery, 1 ingot in 4 hours, the advanced one, 2 ingots in 4 hours, you can only have 6. So you understand, how it goes. One thing that I haven't mentioned, the respawn rate of resources of mineral deposits in mines works as follows. When you harvest it, after 2 hours, there's a 35% chance that it will respawn. After 2 hours again, there's another 35% chance. And after 2 hours, once again, there's a 100% chance. So basically, if you're really hardcore, you're going to want to go back to your mine every 2 hours. If you're not hardcore, you can just wait 6 hours and then it's going to be fully replenished. So assuming that, you extract resources 24/7 and then you process them 24/7, even then you can only make 3 or 4 plate armors per day. So if you have a guild of 200 players living in your city and they all want a plate armor, then it's going to take you a long time to make them. And they can also get damaged, break down, you can die and lose them. So, you understand really the value of weapons and armors made of metal. I'm not going to spoil all the new weapons for you. Suffice it to say, now I'm wearing plate armor, a tower shield, and a morning star, which I really love as weapon, all made of iron. And finally, I can be a heavily armored knight. That's it for today. I'm leaving the city and going for some sweet monster hunting with my new weapons and armor, which I'm sure you'll love to do as well. See you in the next installment featuring the farming system, a system with a lot of depth, huge variety, and absolutely crucial for the maintenance of cities. So, don't you think that only cities on the mountains are valuable because they have minerals? Because really, farming is also key, and a lot of trading between cities in grasslands and cities in mountains is expected. See you soon. Cheers.